G'day again, guys. Yours truly, Keithy. Australian as they come, apparently. Yeah, righto. Today's video is becoming a common thing, making these videos. I'm going to show you around my EAS. I'm going to show you my bypass system in a bit more detail than what I did in that main video that I made up a couple of months ago. And another one is, sorry mate, I can't remember your name because I'm terrible with names, but I'm going to do a video on the rear wheel carrier and how that's mounted to the chassis. Bit of a basic rundown, so you can DIY that if you want. Now it's pretty easy, it's very simple, and it's all stuff that you'll be able to get off the shelf, so we'll go through that as well, eh? So I've just been a little bit busy boy. I just replaced this compressor. It's a rebuilt one that I've had sitting in my spares kit. I've got a couple of P38 spares filters and stuff up there. Yes, that's my old one. She's a bit dusty, but it wasn't putting out too much air, so I thought the old girl was a bit slow to rise up yesterday. I'll give her a bit of a look over, and we found out that the compressor was a bit dodgy. So I've just replaced that. Anyone who hasn't done that before, you got these two bolts here. They're 8mm heads, and so's that one, 8mm. Lift him up, and underneath here you got the air line, which is screwed on. I don't know why they didn't use a push fitting for it, but anyway, that's a 12mm head down there. So you pull your compressor up as far as you can, or so you can get to it. 12mm, screw him off, and then just remove the plug from here, and that's how you get your compressor off. It takes about 5 minutes to do, eh? And if you've got some kind of diagnostic tool, you can diagnose that thing by turning the compressor on and off from the diagnostic tool. I've got a nanocom that I use for that. So I worked out that this was pumping good, and that one was not too good. Alrighty, my EAS, a little bit more detail. What you see up the back here, well, you don't see because my phone is crap. You've got 4 lines that come out of the valve block here. I've loomed them up. That is the air springs. You've got another one here, which is very dark because God bless cameras. That's from the air tank, or to the air tank, I should say, out of the valve block. I've put a T-piece on that line, and then I've gone to a blue line specifically for the air tank. But for the 4 air springs, I've gone straight out of the springs into that loom there, and you'll see it goes around the back of my airbox, up over the hump. That is my snorkel intake into the airbox there, and around to the front here where I've got 4 ball valves to isolate that if I need to. The reason that I've done that is so that if there's an issue with this valve block, be it electrical or mechanical, I can isolate any say that the valve block has in what the air springs do without having to remove fuses or relays or anything. It's just a matter of turning those off and away you go. So once you've gone from the valve block around this loom to these ball valves, you come up to a whole heap of T-pieces here. Where the hell is my finger? There it is. Okay, so it T's in here, they all go into here, into the little manifold there. From this manifold, the air spring lines go directly to the air springs. So you'll see these little stainless steel elbows. They go directly to the air springs from up here. That's the only way air can get to the air springs. If this thing would focus, that would be lovely. Is from here. I think in another video I actually said the wrong order for these things here. Now what I've done to set this up, I've made the outside ones the rear springs, I've made the middle ones the front springs, and this one here is the tank, obviously, because it's got the pressure gauge hooked up to it. There's nothing fancy about this, it's just a block. You essentially just get a bit of alley, drill some holes, tap a thread, put some Schrader valves in and push fittings underneath, and you can't go wrong. It's very simple. And I just went to Bunnings and found the cheapest elbow looking bracket that I could to mount it to. And that's done well, it's not going anywhere. Just used a body bolt here and drilled a hole here. That's as far as it goes. I don't know if I said just before, but the reason that I've used stainless steel elbows here is there's a lot of heat down here. And what I did the first time around, which was on my other P38, I ran plastic elbows for those joins up there, and what had happened is the heat actually, it actually sort of started to disintegrate the plastic, and I ended up with air leaks, and I was forever chasing air leaks. I had a heap of spare fittings, the plastic ones, but they just kept overheating and leaking, so I went and got these stainless ones, and in this car anyway, there's about 2.5 years that they've been there. I've not had I don't have any leaks in my system whatsoever, so that's been pretty good. And you can see the tank's nice and full there. The old compressor actually pumped that up yesterday, so that was pretty good. That's my system there. If you've got any questions about that, feel free to ask. I've colour coded these here. You probably can't see them again because my camera's dodgy, but red, blue, green, and there's another one in there somewhere. Black I think it is, or purple. That's just tells the difference in the air springs, and also up here I've colour coded them as well with a little bit of electrical tape around them. The reason I've run that loom around my airbox is because I've got LPG crap in the way here, and I also thought that it would be a good idea to keep it nice and tidy and away from these baffles on the air intake pipe work. So that's why I've done that. As you can see, the engine bay's had a clean recently, so it looks a lot better than that first video I did, other than the fact that these need to be cleaned, but I'm not putting water in there. It's a good thing. Don't be afraid to degrease your engine bay, guys. I used a gurney and high pressure did not hurt it. Okay, so next up we got this wheel carrier here. I'll open it up for you. It's very simple. You've probably seen them before. It's on a strut there, so it's opening itself quite nicely, and it'll stop once it gets to full length, which is 90 degrees. So this arm itself is off the shelf. I'm pretty sure that is from a Rigid Edge kit in Sydney. That's designed to fit on the back of a standard 100 series Land Cruiser. So there's nothing custom about that. You can buy that off the shelf. It's a standard trailer stub axle. Over here we use Holden and Ford. I don't know what type of stub axles you get over there, but whatever fits into your arm is what you'll end up using anyway. As far as the bumper goes, there is this little plate here which covers the cutout. So obviously if you've got to remove the bumper slides off. So this little plate just covers a little cutout. It's just a bit of a cosmetic thing really. Otherwise, yeah, I've got the strut and the latch mounted to the rear bumper, and it goes through. Anyone who's taken one of these rear bumpers off before will know that there's like a metal brace across the back, so that bolts straight through there. There's nothing crazy about that. What I'll do now is I'll get underneath the car and see if I can get you some kind of footage of what it looks like from underneath here. It's a bit hard to see. Alright, what planet are we on here? Okay. Sorry, I'm laying on my back. So this here is a box section steel. You can see the hole there. That's where the stub axle comes out through the rear bumper. So all it is a stub axle mounted to box section steel that goes into the rear cross member. Sorry about the wiring, guys. That's my trailer loom wiring there. And I've also got an Anderson plug on the back. So if I can find my hand. So that just goes straight in. That's the rear cross member there. Now, don't quote me on this because I don't remember what my old P38 looked like as far as the rear cross member goes, but I'm pretty sure it was hollow and in that section. So that goes through there, and you can see that it is bolted to the rear cross member through there. I'm pretty sure that that's how they come too. So if you have your rear bumper off, you'll be able to remove that section of the cross member, and this box section basically slides in and bolts up to it as well. It's a pretty good thing. Now further along, you'll see if I can get the camera to focus. Those couple of bolts there, that is where the bracket, when you close the wheel carrier, that's what that's bolted to. So that's the inside of the rear bumper. That's that metal bracket that runs across the back of it there, and it's as strong as they come. It's not moving anywhere. So it's pretty simple. I don't know if there's another bolt there that's actually holding the bracket on. And just box section steel with a swivel hub on it. Swivel axle. That's as good as I can get you. Sorry from under the car. I don't have a hoist. So yeah, I hope I've been of some help to somebody. It's quite simple. You'd be able to DIY it. And it's very effective. It doesn't, I mean, obviously it vibrates as you drive, but what we've got in here too is that's rubber. That's solid rubber. So it's a bit of an insulator when you close the wheel. Stops any vibrations or rattles, and it closes quite firm. Thanks very much, guys. Any questions or anything else you want to know? You want to start knowing about the ute? You can ask some questions about that too. Happy to help. I'll probably do another video one time about some other electrical gadgets that I've got going on, but for now that'll do. Thanks very much.